Hi there, this is Ferdinand the Cardboard Snacker, and welcome to the Quick Start tutorial for Millennium Blades, a game that's all about the cards and the people who play them. So, let's begin with a general overview of the game. In Millennium Blades, you and up to 5 of your friends are characters in an alternative world who play the card game called Millennium Blades. Your goal in this game is to score the most victory points by turning in collections, sharing friendships, and of course, winning tournaments. There are 3 rounds in the game of Millennium Blades. If it's your first time, you might want to start with the pre-tournament rules. Each round is divided into 2 phases, a deck building phase and a tournament phase. During deck building, everyone scrambles in real time to buy and sell cards, build a deck for the tournament, trade, and turn in collections. Then in the tournament phase, players earn rank points by playing cards from the deck they made. Depending on the player's performance, they will score victory points by who came first, second, and so on. After the final tournament, the player with the most victory points wins the game. Now it's time to move on to the components. When you first open a box of Millennium Blades, you might be startled by the number of cards that come with it. But don't fret, a game of Millennium Blades won't use all the cards and the rules are easy to understand. So let's get started with the component breakdown. Cards are broken up into different decks and sets. There are 6 starter sets each containing 9 cards. The core set, which is used in every game, contains 118 cards, followed by the 11 expansion sets, 9 premium sets, and 8 master sets. These 3 sets all contain 12 cards each. In addition, there are 10 promo sets with 6 cards each in either bronze, silver, and gold. Let's take a closer look at each type of card. There are 3 types of cards you can find in these sets: singles, deck boxes, and accessories. Cards all have names, star rankings, a set logo, and rarity. There are also symbols for elements and types, and a text box that contains effects and flavor text. Singles are considered the rares you find in this game. Deck boxes represents the commons and uncommons that support the rares you have in your deck. An accessory help enhance and protect you in tournaments. In addition, there are 2 metagame sets. These cards give bonuses at the end of tournaments. Each of the 6 available characters have many cards that associate with them. First are the double-sided character cards, which features a deck building and tournament side. All characters come with friendship cards. These will help you with card trades. Promo play cards for each of the characters. Tournament winners give these out. There are 3 types of mats. The store mat is where all the new cards are set up and promos are rewarded. The aftermarket mat is where players buy and sell cards, and is also the area for the metagame cards. And there are 5 player mats, one side for deck building and the other side for tournaments. Lastly, we have sell markers, star ranking markers, venues, a rulebook, a score pack to keep track of points, and a stack of Millennium dollars. And I like to point out new games do require some assembly. The first thing you need to start playing is a large table. Set up the playing area so that the store and the aftermarket mats are in the middle of the table and can be easily reached by all players. Player mats should be placed next to players and have enough room to work with. Finally, designate a supply area for Millennium dollars and star markers. Okay, let's start to play cards. Next, set up the store deck. Pick 5 expansion, 4 premium, and 3 master sets. Shuffle these into the core set and place the entire stack in the store deck area. Take and shuffle a promo set each in bronze, silver, and gold and place them each on their appropriate spots on the store mat. Then take an additional set of bronze and silver promos and put these aside. These will be used as prize support after the first 2 tournaments. If this is your first game, the rules recommend pre-selected sets found on page 5. Shuffle both of the metagame decks and place them on their spots on the aftermarket board. Players receive a starter deck and character cards, either randomly or choice. Then give each player 3 cards from the top of the deck, 4 sell markers, and friendship cards of their chosen character. Player mats should be placed next to players and have enough room to work with. Finally, designate a supply area for Millennium dollars and star markers. Each deck building phase is broken up into 3 small timed steps. But don't worry, these steps are relaxed, meaning that you don't have to rush to complete a task that you already started. However, If there's some players still building their decks or finishing up with collections, it's best to move on. Every deck building phase begins with a setup. Turn your player mat so it's in the deck building side. Any card in a player's possession starts in the binder area. Then all players get $30 Millennium and 6 free cards on the top of the store deck. Next, fill up the store by placing a card in each of the empty slots, and all players should have all their cell markers. Then discard any revealed meta cards from the previous tournament, then reveal the next type metagame card found on the aftermarket mat. Now you're ready to begin. Start the phase with a 7-minute timer. When time is up, deal out another hand of 6 cards to all players. Reveal the next elemental metagame card, and then set another 7-minute timer. And when that's done, call for a last chance to sell cards and set one more timer, but this time at 6 minutes. When this timer goes off, the deck building phase ends. This part of the round is played in real time. Players can make actions at any time and as many times they are allowed. Let's start with your personal area. With the cards you receive and future cards you're going to buy, you are able to move these cards around freely to any of the 3 sections. Cards in your binder are ones that you want to save for later. The cards you put in your deck will be taken to the tournament. When building your deck, you can only take up to 8 single cards, up to 1 deck box, and up to 2 accessories. When building your deck, you can only have 1 copy of any card in your deck. You can also make a collection. When building a collection, cards must be either the same type or element and all different star values. The more cards in your collection, the more victory points you are rewarded. Collections are scored at the end of the deck building phase, and any scored collections are removed from the game. Let's move on to the store. The store has 2 distinct areas, the store and the card fusion zone. You can buy a card at the store by paying Millennium equal to the price located on the top right of the card's back. Take your purchase card to your area, then replace the empty slot with another card from the top of the store deck. The 9 cards shown plus the top card of the store are available for purchase. If the deck ever gets depleted, simply take the cards from the store's discard pile and reshuffle it, forming a new deck. The card fusion zone allows players to turn cards in for a rare and powerful promotional card. There are 3 levels of promotional cards: bronze, silver, and gold. Trading in 5 cards gives you a bronze promo from the top, and with 7 a silver and 9 a gold. When you do, take one of your unused cell markers and place it in the appropriate deck. This is to indicate that you're not allowed to purchase another promo card of this type this round. Cards turned in for promos are returned to the box. And now let's go to the aftermarket. This mat is divided into the metagame area and the aftermarket. The metagame area shows which type and elements score bonus points at the end of the tournament. As for the aftermarket, you can buy and sell cards here. To sell, take a card you own and place it in the empty slot on the board along with your sell marker. Then immediately receive money from the bank based on its star ranking. However, you cannot sell unless you have an unused sell marker, and you may not sell cards during the last 6 minutes of the phase. And you can also buy available cards here. The card's cost is based on the star ranking, and the money used to purchase it goes straight to the bank. If a sell marker was attached to it, return it to its owner. There's one more action you can do, and that is trading. However, all trades must be equal in combination with star ranking and money. So, I have a card with 5 stars, and I want to trade it with another player who has a card with 10 stars. I need to add 5 more $1 million in order to trade. Even with the fairness of equally valued trades, players can add friendship cards if they feel the trades might be a bit more beneficial to the other player. These are scored at the end of the game among friendship cards of other players. That covers the actions of the deck building phase. When the last timer goes off, deck building ends and players complete any actions they are left doing. If all players agree, an extra 3-minute period can be added. Now follow these steps. First, turn in and score collections. Then any loose cards go to their owner's binder. And finally, any cards in the store and aftermarket are taken to the store's discards. In tournaments, you are trying to play and manage your cards as best as possible to try to score ranking points, or simply RP. These points can be earned by playing cards, endgame scoring, and from metagame bonuses. At the beginning of every tournament phase, all players flip their boards to the tournament side. Cards not in the player's deck are set aside, then set your RP points to 0. If you bought a deck box and an accessory to the tournament, put those on their appropriate spots now. The player who had the highest ranking points last time will go first, or whichever player who opened a booster pack recently. The tournament phase is turn-based, starting with the first player and continuing to the next player in clockwise order. There are 2 things you can do on your turn. If you are able to play a card, then you must play a card on your turn. When playing a card, the card goes to the leftmost empty position on your board. You can also use one action before or after you play a single from a face-up card in front of you, whether it be a deck box, accessory, or a single in your tableau. Cards used this way are flipped afterwards and are considered to be blank and can no longer be used. But you must be able to play a card down if you want to use an action. Now, I could explain all the common effects in the game one by one, but I thought I'd do this with a nifty example. First I play Necronomicus, Hellbane's Sword. This has a play ability, gain 3 RP for each light and dark character in your tableau. Since it's the only card, it gives me 3 RP. Then I use its action. Clash with an opponent, the winner gets 10 RP. The player I'm up against previously played Sword of Heroes. Players who are in the clash can play their rightmost card, known as the top card. Then the clashing player draw from the top of the deck and add their card's star ranking to their top card. The winner is the one who has the higher star ranking. In this case, I win and I gain 10 points. Then I flip over my card for using its action. Any cards revealed in the clash are sent to the aftermarket. For my second card, I play Aberforth Low Summoner, which has a flip ability that activates when it flips face down. Then one of my opponents plays Dauntless the Frozen that has a top ability. Players cannot gain RP. At the start of your turn, flip this card. This effect stops working during scoring. Top effects continue to work as long as they're the rightmost card. Now I play Hemsley the Snitch. While his play effect activates, I don't gain the RP it scores, but I still have to flip a card. I choose to flip Hemsley. Next I play Victus Necromancer. This has the play effect. Flip this and all your cards to the mean left to this one, but do not activate any flip effects. Gain RP equal to the star ranking of all cards flipped this way. Aberforth's Low Summoner flip effect would have activated if it wasn't for Victus' play effect. I notice the player to my right is playing the Clogatron card that has a next effect. Next effects affects the next cards being played. For my fifth card, I play Dark Sentinel Hellbane that has a score effect. Gain 6 RP for each face-down card in your tableau. Score effects happen at the end of the tournament. One of my opponents uses the action of his card handling gloves. Its effect is, clash with an opponent, the opponent may choose to flip one of the loser's cards. Let's clash and compare. I lost to my opponent, so he chooses my Hellbane to flip. In response, I use my Dex Protector's reaction effect. Prevent a card in your tableau from being flipped by an opponent's effect. Reaction effects may be used when a relevant condition are met, and then they are turned face down if the effect is used. I choose to do its effect to prevent my Hellbane from flipping. Then I flip my Deck Protectors. For my final card, I play Black 8 Birth of Shadow that has an ongoing effect. This card is an exact copy of a 6-star ranking or lower dark card to its immediate left. This effect continues to work during scoring. This effect cannot be copied. The Dark Sentinel Hellbane card is copied, so I will use its score effect twice. Now, it's the end of the tournament when no incomplete cards, then a few things happen. First, all score effects activating starting with singles, then deck boxes, then accessories, and finally metagame cards. Both my Hellbane and Black 8 score. There are 4 face-down cards, so I score 24 RP for the first and another 24 for the second. The deck box I had was the Mono Dark Decay. Since I have 2 cards face up, I earned 16 points. The metagame for this tournament was Light and Beast. Since my Black 8 is an exact copy of Hellbane, I don't score any of the metas. Now all the players compared their ranking points and received victory points based on their placement and the number of players in the game. This is round 1, so I use the table for that round. First place gets 21 VP, then I get 15 for second place, and third gets 12 victory points. Victory points are added round to round, but not rank points. Before returning to deck building, promo cards as prize supports are given out. These are handed out randomly to each player after rounds 1 and 2. First rounds are bronze promos, and second rounds are silver promos. After the first and second tournament, return all sell markers and all the cards to their owner. Flip the board back to the deck building side. The game moves back to the deck building phase where the deck building setup starts again. After scoring for the final tournament, the game ends and all victory points are tallied up. Add the victory points from tournaments, collections, money, and friendship cards. The player with the most victory points is the winner. Tiebreakers go to the highest tournament score, then to collections, then to money, and finally friendship cards. Well, I hope you enjoyed this quick start tutorial and that you're one step closer to claim the title, the King of Games. Well, anyway, remember to subscribe for more tutorials and reviews, follow us on Twitter, support us on Patreon, Vote us on Board Game Links, and remember to keep on stacking games. See you next time.